Okay, students, our next topic that is saprophytic protists. So, the kingdom protista classification we are discussing. So, the photosynthetic autotrophs we discussed in first part. So, in the second part, we have to discuss saprophytic protists. In this one, saprophytic protists. So, these are called, they are saprophytic protists. Saprophytic protists. Slime molds are saprophytic protists. So saprophytic protists are called slime molds, example Dictyostelium. So here we would have to discuss about slime molds. So these are saprophytic protists. Okay, generally their body moves along the decaying twigs and leaves, engulfing the organic matter. So under favorable conditions, they form an aggregation. Those aggregations are called plasmodium, which contains thousands of nuclei. Okay, so generally which may grow and spread several feet long. Okay, several feet moving like amoeba on soil of a forest, and generally leaves on plant leaves and stems. Okay, so during unfavorable conditions they form fruiting bodies. So those fruiting bodies bears spores at their tips. So these spores consist of true walls. This true walls acts as a resistant material. Okay, the spores possesses true walls. They are extremely resistant and can survive for many years under adverse conditions. The spores gets dispersed by air, and favorable conditions germinate again and forms new slime molds. This is the explanation about saprophytic protists, slime molds, example Dictyostelium. Next one is protozoans. Okay, see here protozoans. It is a diverse group. Generally, protozoan is a different group, and all protozoans are heterotrophs. And live as predators. Or parasites. So here each protozoan is capable of functioning as an independent unit. So performing all vital activities of the protozoans. Generally, they are found in all kind of environment. Protozoans are found in all kind of environments. Okay, there are four major groups. Generally, they are four major groups. Four major groups. So the first one is amoeboid protozoans. Second one is amoeboid protozoans. Second one is flagellated protozoans. Third one is ciliated protozoans. And fourth one is sporozoans. First of all, let us discuss amoeboid protozoans. Okay, so generally amoeboid protozoans are, so they can found in fresh water. They can found in fresh water, sea water, or moist walls. So here generally they don't have definite shape. Amoeboid protozoan don't have any specific shape. They have pseudopodia. By which they move. And capture the prey. They can extend pseudopodia. For example, here amoeba like this way, shapeless. So it will extend. This is called pseudopodia. They will extend this part. Okay, so they can extend pseudopodia in any direction for locomotion and engulf the prey. Okay, that's all. Next one here, marine forms are radiolaria. Marine, some are lives in marine habitats. Marine forms are radiolaria. Radiolaria. So they have silica shells. Silica shells on their surface. On their cells. Generally, marine protozoans have silica shells on their surface. Some of them amoeboid protozoans are parasites in humans. Humans and animals. Okay, example, freshwater amoeba, entamoeba, radiolaria. Okay, these are all the examples of amoeboid protozoans. Next, we have to see flagellated protozoans. Second one is flagellated protozoans. Flagellated protozoans. So, flagellated protozoans, the word itself saying the meaning. They are either free living or parasitic. They are either free living or parasites. So they have semi-rigid covering that is called pellicle. Their body is covered by a semi-rigid covering. Semi-rigid covering. That is called pellicle. So the pellicle gives flexibility. Okay, ma? That's all. So next here, another one is, so flagellated protozoan has long hair-like structures that is called flagella. Flagella helps for locomotion. Flagella helps in locomotion. Generally, the parasitic forms, so this flagellated protozoa causes diseases, especially which causes diseases in humans and animals. So that is example, Trypanosoma gambiense. Which causes sleeping sickness disease. In human beings. That is called flagellated protozoans. Next, third one is ciliated protozoan. Okay, they have characteristic shape, that is slipper shape. Ciliated protozoans have slipper shape. That is why it is called slipper animalcule. Animalcule. Okay, they are aquatic in nature. Generally, ciliated protozoans are aquatic in nature and actively moving organisms. It consists of short hair-like structures around its body that is called cilia. All over their body. All over their body. So they have oral groove. That leads into a small cavity. That is called gullet, food pipe. Okay, in the ciliated protozoans. Generally, the coordinated movement of rows of cilia cause the water move and help the water move with the food to be stirred into the gullet. The food is digested. The food is digested in the food vacuole. And undigested waste material are expelled out through anus. Example, paramecium. Okay, so this is the ciliated protozoans explanation. Okay, next, third one is sporozoans. So sporozoans, it is a group of mainly parasitic protozoans. Protozoans. It is a group of mainly protozoan, parasitic protozoans. Parasitic protozoans. Parasitic protozoans. So generally, sporozoans have simple structure. They have very simple structure because of parasitic mode of life. Parasitic mode of life. So generally, sporozoans have their body has very simple structure because their mode is parasitic. Parasitic means which causes infections. Okay, that's all. Next one is so they have an infectious spore-like spore-like stage in their life cycle. In their in their life cycle. So they have infected spores are generally sporozoans produces a spore-like structure. The spore is infective spore. This is causing spore-like stage in their life cycle. Example: plasmodium. It causes malaria disease in humans. Malaria disease in humans. Okay. That is the explanation about sporozoans. Okay, students, our next topic, kingdom fungi. Kingdom fungi. Okay, so generally here in a humid weather or during rainy seasons, we often find a white cottony mass, or a kind of black color spots on bread or chapati or old walls or different places. You might have observed a greenish powdery growth, powdery powdery growth on rotten orange, or wet pair of shoes or leather bags, etc. during rainy seasons. Okay, so that is called fungi. That is called fungi. So here we will see important features, important features of fungi. Important features of fungi we will see. So generally, the kingdom fungi includes a group of heterotrophic, heterotrophic, heterotrophic and eukaryotic organisms. Eukaryotic organisms. Eukaryotic organisms, which don't have chlorophyll. Generally, which these are all don't have chlorophyll. Which don't have chlorophyll. Hence, they cannot prepare their own food material. That's why these are called heterotrophic eukaryotic organisms. Generally, so that is one. Next, second, here they show a great diversity. Generally, fungi show a great diversity in their morphology and habitat. So generally they range in size from microscopic to microscopic yeast to mushrooms, microscopic yeast to mushrooms and fuse puff puff balls. These are called fungi. Okay, so generally huge puff balls means what? Round shaped structures. Generally they have multicellular body. They have algae, sorry. So fungi have multicellular body. Okay, so with the exceptions yeast. Yeast is unicellular organism, unicellular fungus. Okay, generally fungi have rigid cell wall, rigid cell walls, which are made up of by chitin. which are made up of by chitin and polysaccharides, which are made up of by chitin and polysaccharides. Okay, that's next. Generally here the fungi could be the fungi could be parasitic, parasitic could be parasitic, saprophytic, saprophytic, or symbiotic, symbiotic, symbiotic. So parasitic means what? Generally fungi lives in animal and plant bodies inside or outside and causes diseases. Saprophytic, generally fungi decompose the earth surface and clean the surface is clean and hygiene. Symbiotic, so some species of fungi, so symbiotic, both will be benefited with each other. Okay, so symbionts means where, so symbionts means what? Both will be benefited. For example, here lichens, lichens. In these lichens, so the association of fungi and algae, this is called lichens. Okay, that's next. If you will see here, mycorrhiza, mycorrhiza, mycorrhiza. So mycorrhiza, in this one, association of fungi and roots of higher plants. This kind of association is called mycorrhiza. This kind of association is called symbiotic association. Okay, generally next fungi. Fungi is cosmopolitan, 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 and occur in air. It occurs in air, water, soil, on animals and plants. Generally, they grow well in warm and humid places. Humid places, warm and humid places. So generally, fungi reproduce. Fungi reproduce both asexual and sexual means. Asexual and sexual means. Asexual, yeast. Okay, so it is unicellular fungi. The scientific name of yeast already in previous videos we discussed, that is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, Aspergillus. Okay, Aspergillus. Rhizopus, bread mold, bread mold. Okay, that's all. These are all the important features of the fungi. Okay, next classification. Classification. Generally, the kingdom fungi is classified into 4 types. The kingdom fungi is classified into 4 types. Those are, first one is Phycomycetes. 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 This is also called Zygomycetes. Zygomycetes. Second one is Ascomycetes. Ascomycetes. And third one is Phycomycetes or Zygomycetes. Second one is Ascomycetes. Third one is Basidiomycetes. Basidiomycetes. And fourth one is Deuteromycetes. Deuteromycetes. Now we will see one by one about these 4 types of fungi. So first of all, here we have to discuss Phycomycetes. It is also called Zygomycetes. It is also called conjugation fungi. Conjugation fungi. It is also called Phycomycetes. Phycomycetes fungi. It is also called Zygomycetes fungi. Zygomycetes fungi. Okay, that's all. So the phycomycetes, here the phycomycetes fungi can be found in aquatic habitats. Aquatic habitats. Aquatic habitats. Aquatic habitats on decaying wood. Decaying wood. On decaying wood. In moist and damp places. Damp places. Generally, in this one, the mycelium means what? A network-like structure. Generally, it is fungi like this way grows. So this network-like structure is called mycelium. This network-like structure is called mycelium. This network-like structure is called mycelium. Okay, so that's all. So the mycelium is acceptate. The mycelium is absent. Acceptate. Acceptate. So the mycelium is acceptate. So in the mycelium, absence of septate. Here, like this way, septate is absent. Okay, so under cenocytic. 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 That there are no cross walls. Cenocytic. Cenocytic. Cenocytic meaning there are no cross walls. Cross walls. That is only called septate is absent. The protoplasm. See, mycelium consists of protoplasm. The protoplasm has many nuclei. Many nuclei. Many nuclei. Okay, that's all. Next, continuation points. So generally, in phycomycetes, asexual reproduction takes place by asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction takes place by formation of motile zoospores. Motile zoospores. Motile zoospores. Or by non-motile aplanospores. Non-motile aplanospores. Non-motile aplanospores. Okay, so asexual reproduction takes place with the formation of motile zoospores. So non-motile aplanospores. These are. So generally here, phycomycetes are also called zygomycetes. Zygomycetes. Because the formation of diploid zygospore during sexual reproduction. During sexual reproduction. During sexual reproduction. What formed here? Zygospore is formed. Zygospore is formed. Okay, so how zygospore is formed? So motile zoospores, non-motile aplanospores, both will be fused with each other and forms zygospore. This zygospore is diploid state. That is why it is called diploid. That is why it is called zygomycetes. Okay, that's all. So examples of zygomycetes are rhizopus. It is also called bread mold. Mucor, and albugo. Okay, that's it. Next, the second one is ascomycetes. It is called sac fungi. Sac fungi. Okay, so ascomycetes fungi are commonly called as sac fungi because ascomycetes produces sac-like structures. That is why it is called sac fungi. So generally, it includes familiar members like unicellular yeast. Scientific name of yeast is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So some are multicellular. multicellular, multicellular fungi like penicillium. Okay, so generally they are mainly saprophytic, saprophytic, saprophytic or parasitic, saprophytic or parasitic. Some could be decomposers, some could be decomposers, decomposers. Some could be decomposers. Some are coprophilous, coprophilous, that is growing on dung. Okay, that's all. Generally here asexual reproduction is asexual reproduction is by producing asexual spores. Asexual spores, those asexual spores are called conidia. Asexual spores are called conia. Those are produced exogenously outside of the fruiting body. Okay, next here sexual reproduction takes place by sexual spores. Sexual spores. Those sexual spores are called ascospores. Ascospores, which are produced endogenously. Okay, that's all. Examples of ascomycetes. Here already East penicillium we have seen aspergillus, neurospora, morels. Those are called edible fungi. Okay, so these are morels. Okay, edible fungi. Aspergillus, neurospora. Okay, here already we have seen unicellular yeast. Okay, next multicellular penicillium. These are all the examples of ascomycetes. Okay, next one is third fungi, that is basidiomycetes. So basidiomycetes, it is also called club fungi. Basidiomycetes, it is also called club fungi. So generally they grow well in soil on logs and tree stumps, and in living plant bodies, as parasites in the form of rust and smuts. These are a type of basidiomycetes. Rust and smuts. Rust means what here? Puccinia. Rust means, next point we will discuss that. Second one is, so asexual spores. Asexual spores are generally not found in basidiomycetes, but vegetative reproduction takes place by the vegetative reproduction takes place by the fragmentation. Okay, that's it. Next one here, sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction takes place by the fusion of different strains of haploid mycelium. Both the haploid mycelium are fused together and forms dikaryotic mycelium. This is called diploid state, dikaryotic mycelium. Dikaryotic mycelium. Okay, that's all. So next, the common name of club fungi refers to, these are club-shaped structures. Club-shaped structures are called basidia. These club-shaped structures are called basidia and formed at the end of a certain reproductive hyphae. Okay, that's all. Examples of basidiomycetes are agaricus. agaricus. Mushrooms, Ustilago, that is called smuts. Okay, next one is here. Smut is a parasitic fungus. Smut. In this one, it is called Ustilago. It is a parasitic fungus. Parasitic fungus. Parasitic fungus. Okay, next, Puccinia. Puccinia. It is a rust fungus. Rust fungus. Rust fungus. Okay, it is also called parasitic fungi. Last and final one is Deuteromycetes. Deuteromycetes. It is called imperfect fungi. Imperfect fungi. Imperfect fungi. So they are commonly known as imperfect fungi because only the asexual or vegetative phases, vegetative fungi are known. Vegetative fungi are known. Sexual reproduction has not been observed so far. So far has not been observed. That's why it is called imperfect fungi. So they reproduce by asexual spores. Asexual spores. Those asexual spores are called conidia. Conidia. Those asexual spores are called conidia. So these are generally saprophytic. 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 Some are decomposers. Decomposers means what? They will decompose the dead and decaying plant and animal bodies. Saprophytic means what? They break down the complex molecules into simple molecules. Okay, these are all the points of Deuteromycetes. Example, Alternaria. Colito trichum. Trichoderma. Trichoderma rubrum. Okay, which causes so Alternaria coltotrichum causes diseases in plants. Trichoderma rubrum, it causes skin disorder in humans. Okay. Next, the kingdom fungi. Next kingdom, Plante. So all related plant parts, all the related plant points we have to discuss here. Okay. So next here, plant examples are, see, algae, that is red algae, brown algae, green algae. Next topic you will discuss that only. Next, bryophytes. Bryophytes, pteridophytes, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms, etc. These are all related to the kingdom Plante. Next, our topic discussion is on plant kingdom only. So plant kingdom means about plants, everybody knows that they will perform photosynthesis. They are stagnant at one particular place. Their cell walls are made up of by cellulose, etc. Okay, next, the kingdom Animalia. So about Animalia also everybody knows that these are multicellular animals known as metazoans. Okay, they don't have cell walls. Generally, their cells don't have cell walls. Generally, those are motile. Animals are motile. They can move from one place to another place for protection and catching the prey. So generally, they have well-developed systems. Nervous system, digestive system, transport system, excretory system, reproductive system, etc. Next, they have heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, so like this way, the kingdom is Animalia. Next, if you will see viruses, generally viruses are unique in so many ways. They cannot be termed as prokaryotes are eukaryotes. Prokaryotes are eukaryotes. They don't have a cellular structure. They don't have a cellular structure. They don't have cellular structure. They contain hereditary material in the form of DNA or RNA. So, and forming a core like this way, DNA or RNA or RNA. Double stranded DNA or single stranded DNA or single stranded RNA. So around the DNA or RNA, so it is covered by a protein coat. That protein coat is called capsid. That protein coat is called capsid. Generally, the genetic material of viruses could be DNA or RNA. No virus contains both the genetic materials, both the DNA and RNA. For example, here if you will see some examples, influenza virus and smallpox virus. Smallpox virus contains DNA as a genetic material. Bacterial viruses. So bacterial viruses are called, the bacteria which attack on viruses are called bacterial viruses. Those are called bacteriophages. Bacteriophages contains double-stranded DNA as a genetic material. So next here, mumps virus, measles virus, and AIDS virus. Okay, they contain single-stranded RNA as a genetic material. Hepatitis B virus, hepatitis B virus, and most of the plant virus contains single-stranded RNA. Okay, that's all. Generally here, discovery of viruses. Here if you will see discovery of viruses, a Russian biological scientist Ivanovsky. He studied diseased tobacco plants in 1892. The diseased plants had mosaic pattern of the light green and yellow areas on the leaves. Okay, so generally Ivanovsky prepared some extract of infected leaves juice. Okay, so that generally the juice contains some infectious agents. Okay, so those infectious agents contains mosaic pattern containing diseased agents. Okay, so that juice he filtered, so and separated into two parts: filtrates, non-filtrates. The filtered fluid did not contain any bacteria, but it has surprising, it was still highly infectious. Whatever may be the filter he got, that filter does not contain any infectious agent, but filtrates does not contain any bacteria, but it is highly infectious. That infectious juice and sprayed on healthy plants, and he observed that healthy plants are affected with tobacco mosaic virus. Next, after 6 years, so a Dutch botanist Beijerinck in 1898 repeated the experiment and gave the term virus. The same experiment repeated, whatever may be the Ivanovsky conducted, the same experiment repeated and called to that particular juice virus. Virus meaning venom, venom are poisonous fluid, poisonous fluid. To this infectious agent present in the infected sap. Okay. Tobacco mosaic virus was the first virus to be discovered. Tobacco mosaic virus was the first virus to be discovered. Since the discovery of electron microscope in 1930, viruses have been studied in great details. Okay, this is the explanation of discovery of tobacco mosaic virus. Viroids. So, smaller than viruses. Smaller than virus. Viroids are very small than viruses. They were discovered by the scientist T.O. Diner in 1971 as a new infectious agent that causes potato spindle tuber disease. Potato spindle tuber disease. So generally, viroids contains free RNA molecule. They lack a protein. They lack protein code found in viruses. Whatever may be the protein code found in the viruses, that protein code in viroids are absent. Hence, these are called viroids. Generally, the RNA of virus, the RNA of whatever may be the RNA of viroids. So it has low molecular weight. Okay. Next topic is lichens. The association of fungi and algae are called lichens. So fungi provides shelter to the algae. Algae provides food material to the fungi. This kind of association is called lichens. Okay. Next, another disease-causing organism is prions. Okay. There are some infectious agents which possesses only proteins, but not nucleic acids. Are called prions. Okay. So in this one, only proteins are present. Nucleic acids, either RNA or DNA is absent. That's why these are called prions. But viroids, free RNA is present, but lack proteins. That's why these are called viroids. So generally, prions causes scrappy disease of sheep and mad cow disease. Okay, that's all. This is the explanation about complete information about biological classification. So that's all.